so Laura on the Monday, welcome to my review of New Game Episode 6. I thought it was a really good episode, like in many aspects. The episode first had the Nene quest, of course, best character Nene, best girl, and so that was fun. The first half was like fun, right? Like funny, Hotaru challenge in there again. She might start working with it as well, but I think Nene definitely is like over half a year now. She's doing programming. The game works. You can beat the game. You can play it. So yeah, she is obviously gonna become probably a game programmer, right, at the company where Aoba works. That seems to be very, very likely. Maybe still testing, but I think she probably will be a programmer, so right? She studied that now. That is fine. And the whole team was really fun, right? You see them all, and then they're just like, yeah, is the game too hard for you? She was like, maybe you made the game too hard, Nelly. Maybe I did. It's like, I can keep down. It's like, yeah, maybe. This is a typical Nene moment there, where she's like, you didn't see that task has a little more centimeter bigger tasks. You're like, what? It's like, ooh, you noob. Like, yeah, typical Nenechi. I love that. And it goes before, she's like, it's a secret. It's a message to Oshi, don't tell her, it's between us. Yeah, wanna keep it. She's like, it means you put your heart and soul into it. And I love how Hotaru did chatting to the next to her, and then Hotaru's like, whoo, does like a pun, like a really bad pun. And then she's like, yeah. She's laughing at her own pun. Good job, girl. It's like, we've seen them like disappointed now, and that was good. And also I like the, I said as well there, I know she was gonna write that, when of course, Aoba finds out that Umiko-san knew before her. It's like, you told Umiko before me? It's like, you're cheating on me? It's like, that's kind of, I was like, yeah, I'm like, what? I'm your best friend and you told my boss before me? Like, what the hell? That was great. That was really good. The first half was that, a little less heavy. Yeah, first bit, that was funny. Just generally, Jun and Hashime didn't have much screen time, but they had Hashime party with the boxing gloves the first minute there, and I was like, okay. And then I'm going to get the second part, with Aoba versus Yagami again, this whole thing of her pressure. And first, I said something very important here, that maybe I should say it before the review, you have to go and watch the last minutes. That actually was very confusing to me. Very, very confusing. I said right away here, that was confusing. So, I mean, I watched the ending, right? And after the ending, there was about like 1 or 2 minutes of another scene there. I thought it was going to be some kind of joke. Usually they have some kind of Umiko joke, right, in the ending of many anime, especially more comedy-oriented animes. So I was like, okay, let's watch it, of course, that's what's happening. And I watched it, I was like, wait, she lost? Yeah, and it was like, she off-screen lost it. So between the last minute of the episode and the ending, and then this last very few joke there, it wasn't even a joke. It was like, oh yeah, you lost, here's the pamphlet of like Yagami's drawing. That was so weird. That was the first thing. The episode was good, but that was weird. Just the last minute there, it's like, apparently she lost off screen, right? And that feels strange, because you can expect them to again go to another like competition between them. Maybe they're done because they did it earlier in episode 2, but still going to it again. It could be shorter and say like, okay, you did this thing, Yagami did this thing, we're going for her, and of course you can say something like, we go for Yagami generally because Yagami is the much bigger name. Like, you have known them, you watched one game, yeah. You use this new girl here. She's a very experienced, like a famous fairy stories with the director, and I liked actually the whole contact there. So about, well, Yagami was like, but you let me do it the first time. You let me do it the first game. Like, well, it's so unfair for Aoba-chan. And they were like, yeah, but at that time, Hasuko, like the weird kind of Obasa they have there. She's the director, right? Yeah. They're like, yeah, but that was our first game as a director, and you were the lead artist. We didn't expect anything from you. They were like, we didn't expect you to do good, so like whatever. Yeah, they were like, yeah, we didn't care about you. We just let you do it. You didn't have a good budget, and obviously that game was a huge hit, right? Aoba-chan's favorite girl, he was a kid, right? He was a teenager. So yeah, the game just blew up, right? They were like, that's why you now are famous. Your combination of this director and this lead artist, the artist in the game was the best thing. And that's what inspired Aoba to be an artist. And of course, yeah, that's combo of these two names. So now we're doing a new IP, we're doing the same on Pekko, but it's still gonna be you two involved, so you wanna have your names. It's like, yeah, the creator of fairy stories, the same old parry of Shurikisama, and yeah, we're gonna do this thing, and that's It's very obvious as a marketing thing, as like a publisher, but she is Christina. There is from the blonde, obviously Galli woman supposed to have, yeah, something like that. Her name is Christina, right? It's like a typical name in like Scandinavia, like Sweden and Denmark and so on. Yeah, so Norway, yeah, but it's spelled different in Norway. Yes, anyway, yeah, like I would say very typical Norwegian, like Scandinavian name at least. Yeah, and of course other Europeans as well, but it feels like obviously it's a Christ, it's like a Christian name, but I don't know. I at least from my upbringing, so as a kid, I knew like 5 Christinas. Like it's quite a common name. It's my age. I think it's very common, or very, but like quite common. So I would say it's a decently common Swedish name. Anyway, like that's her name. She's blonde and everything. So it must be Guardian, even though she's not really like drawn as a Guardian character because they all are kind of. Well, Umiko is obviously a sexiest guy, but I mean the other ones are like kind of like the other ones have pretty much the same skin color, so I suppose. It's weird. Anyway, I liked how Prophet heard. That made complete sense. They were like, we have to do this. And obviously, this is like, even if you lose, even if you would be better Yagami, we probably would pick Yagami. That's good, like very realistic. It's like new games, like founding that deepness there. In a sense, like very, very pragmatic, very realistic there. It's like, even if you're better than Yagami, we still pick Yagami. It's like, yeah, like, you are screwed, honey, because even what you do, you can do it if you want, but you won't win, because, like, your name means nothing. You're just, like, a 20-year-old, 19, yeah. You first, you wanted on one game, like, you don't care. Like, yeah, like, that was some, like, you know, reality slams in Aoba's face, right? Pretty much. So I felt that was very interesting. It was kind of sad, but it was also interesting, because new game usually is kind of like, it's more a comedy, not pretty much like game industry, right? So this felt like the most mature, kind of the most dark episode that we all had earlier when he was crying as well in early episode. This felt even more like, okay, you might have won this other tournament when you can be the lead artist, but you still aren't the lead artist. It's like, that was like even more. It's like, we gave you this title, but it's not really real. It's not really real. It's like, we didn't actually let you win. You just won by like this, whatever. Yeah, like you only won like here in our office. On the outside world, you're still nobody. Like, that's very interesting. Like, very dark. Quite sad in a way. But I liked it. It felt like, yeah, this is, because it really made perfect sense, like logically, like money wise. Yes, it's not very nice. It's not what you usually see happens with main characters and other animes. They're like, I will fight this because of this reason. Yeah, like, but I like that with new game. They're saying like, nope, you can fight it, but you will lose anyway. Like, like, nope, you have no power here. Like, whatever, you can't just use your magical powers to beat. Like, yeah, it doesn't work here. It's like, whatever, go home. So I liked it a lot, but at the same time, it was just strange to how it ended. Right? It just ended by her off-screen losing. I still expected her to see at least like a minute or two of some kind of talk in front of Christina, maybe in front of the other characters, and then they'd be like, well, okay, this is good, Aoba, but you still lose. Like, yeah, that's something that would be, yeah, and you just kind of like skipped it over. So that felt weird. So that's really bad. Otherwise, the episode was great, but it's that part that they, well, it's more like, I didn't expect it to be this episode, right? I expected episode next week to be, okay, you lost, and now we are at this junction, right? Now we are here. After the first few minutes of the next week. So that was weird how they used after the ending. Like, well, actually she lost. We don't talk about next week. Yeah, that felt strange. That was really strange and kind of off. But otherwise, that was a great episode. Some other minor parts there. I don't know really. It was like, that definitely is a big thing, right? And I really mean that, like in a bad way, in a good way. How would say that? How she got that kind of that reality slap there. I like that. I liked it a lot. I was saying that when I was watching it, I hope she doesn't win, because even though she can be super talented and everything, it's a little ridiculous with the main character always wins and stuff. Especially in this kind of animes, which is like slice of life anime, but they are in game industry. But it's slice of life anime, so the main character and the characters are normal people, right? They're just talented, but they're just normal humans, so to speak. They don't have superpowers. So you don't expect them to beat the other one so easily. So I like that she was like, no, you lost. Yeah, I guess it was fun to see Aoba fighting and so on. Or Yagami. Oh yeah, that was nice. So yeah, I forget about that. Yeah. They actually did have the opening way later. Right? I was like, wait, where's the opening? and noticed that, and it's like, yeah, the opening was very late. Instead of threw in Aoba as the bear princess, kind of the fluffy. Yeah. That was a really good moment actually. And it's the end of her losing. I had to see her controlling her and so on. So it was pretty nice. But I think mainly the episode was about the rat slapping. And I really say though, it was a great episode until the last minute after ending. And it's like, well, she lost. Because, like, if you just skip that thing and had it next week, even that also wouldn't be as good. You'd be like, what? They're not gonna show her battle? Episode 7 or 8, whatever? Weird. Like, that would also be a little like, But I think that would feel a little better actually if you just had that part. Next episode to say, okay, I lost, like half a minute. Oh, I lost. I was like, okay, whatever. Like reality is here. They don't care about my thing because I'm not famous. So, like that could have been it, right? I think. But instead, they just kind of like the ending, and then suddenly we see Hashime with kind of poster, pamphlet, whatever it is. And she's like, it's pretty good, but I like you more, Aoba. And I was like, what? Mine? You should sit up here. It's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, boss. Like, what? So there's kind of like, and it was so weird too that the moment after the ending wasn't like you're seeing her maybe cry and be like, I still lost, or something like that. You even skipped her reaction to it. So I guess we're gonna do it next week, hopefully. But even then, it feels weird. I mean, I've seen this ending, and so yeah, that I don't like, and it was weird. It was very, very weird. The last minute, it would be better if you skipped it. The actual like competition, but we see her like crying or something, right? And we see her crying, and she's like, I lost that away, and that could have been the ending, or like that's the episode. So you don't have to see them actually competing, but see you losing, we see a reaction. That's the end. So then we see we skip also her reaction, and we see like Hashime's reaction like a month later because they have the pamphlet or the commercial thing. They have to press those outright. So it's like we see it like a month jump, suddenly jump a month. That was weird. That was weird. So that's a little unfortunate. I think it was a really good build up there, and I felt they kind of lost the payoff there. So anyway, see you guys next week and have a